All right, good morning, everyone. Louis Porcelino, Man Over Market, and today is December 2nd, and this is your ES Morning Call. Let me get this chair out of the way. Okay. All right. So I think everything's on hold this morning until Janet Yellen speaks around noon Central Time, and the markets will be reacting to that. We're looking for reaffirmation that they are going to go through with the 0.25 point. Sorry, here, put this on silent. So they're going to go through with the rate hike, and I don't know. I keep looking at these markets. I keep looking at the data, and I keep saying if they're really data dependent, they really shouldn't do a rate hike. But I think what she has done is, and the Fed and everybody and the news media and everybody around has actually put us at ease with the fact that they're going to have a rate hike, and she wants the markets to react positively to the rate hike. So that, coupled with the fact that Mario Draghi from the EU will be do some more quantitative easing on Friday, and all these expectations. The only thing that could derail the U.S. would be a bad jobs report on Friday. So, you know what? I sound like all the other knuckleheads on TV, right? It doesn't really matter. It's out of our control, and all we can do is trade the markets the way we see them, right? So I think that the market is poised to move higher. I think that the market is moving up in stages, and we got up to the 2106 area yesterday, which was a funny movement yesterday. We made a 10-point move right from the opening, and then after that we retraced the opening and made a low. But I want you to take a look at yesterday's low, and we'll look at it. We did not take out the Globex low, right? So we didn't take the Globex low out is always a sign that, we took the Globex high out, and I had put out a tweet that I expected the market to go to 2101.5 yesterday, right? So, you know what? It's sometimes the markets trade randomly based on the fact that there's low participation, low volume, and you get the algos to be able to push everybody around. So sometimes you have to, sit through some pain and with, catastrophic stops and understand that that's normal noise for the day, right? All right. Gold and oil are trading lower. Bonds are in a range. We are redoing our charts, so I haven't been putting a bond chart out yet, but we'll get to it. So let's get to sharing the screen. And if you have questions, let's get them in. Remember, we're on a delay, about maybe 10-second delay, and let's get the questions in. And as you can see, I have my new look, clean shaven, and a haircut. All right. My sons are all shaving their beards and getting haircuts also. Big weekend for us. We are going down to play the Redbirds of Illinois State, and that's Western Illinois. Also, if you've seen on the Twitter yesterday, our new site will be up by December 11th. The trading funding program will start the first of the year, but the new site will be up, and we will be taking spots and reservations for the spots. And so we will have up the new site by December 11th, and also on Tasty Trade, the documentary is coming out. So there's been really good positive things, and there's been some negative things that people have said about me on the trading floor. So I'm never gonna defend myself in any of the actions I took when I was down at the exchange, right? I walked on the floor at 21 years old, and by the time I was 25, I was one of the biggest traders in the pit. That's not. Nobody's ever going to argue with that. And there's things I miss about the trading floor, and there are things I don't miss about the trading floor. But everybody's personality. The one thing I used to my thought was, I always tell you that when you're trading is like game day every day, right? And I make that analogy because there is practice during the week when you're training for a sport, and then there's the intensity of a game. there is no such thing as practice, right? There's practice. Your practice is preparation, and maybe you could do some sim trading, but that sim trading, I've never met anybody who hasn't made money on a simulator, right? So it gets very difficult when the real money is on the line. So when I was trading it the day, you know what? It was all business for me, right? And I, sometimes you don't, you act inappropriately, and sometimes you don't. But for the most part, I thought that the trading floor was an incredible place, incredible learning experience for me, and it's given me a lot of. There's a lot of life lessons that were learned, not only about markets and the way they function, but about the way people and the way they function, right? So I think that, I think the documentary is going to be revealing another side to me, maybe a little softer side that people didn't know. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, all right? So I'm really happy with, I haven't seen the whole documentary. I've only seen bits and pieces. And it's about a 50-minute documentary, and we cover a lot of topics, right? So everybody, let's get to sharing the charts, and hopefully on the 11th, you'll be able to tune in and see the documentary. And I want to thank Tom Sosnoff and Tony Vitale and all the people over at Tasty Trade. What an incredible organization they have. They're top shelf organization, and what they're doing for the retail trader when it comes to options and futures, and just the knowledge that they're putting out is a place that you need to go and absorb those things. So, all right, let's go to sharing the charts. All right, let's look at profile overnight. Kind of a, if you look at this distribution, huh? Oh, okay. If you look at the distributions, we got our door locked outside at our office, and the guy didn't bring his key, right? So, all right, here we go. So look at the distribution. We got a high here of 2105. We got a low of 2097.75, trading currently at its let's call it the overnight mode, which is 2099.75. All right, and which is the top part of the top part. So this was post close yesterday, right? We made the highs right here post close at 21.50. I could go back through my tweets yesterday. I called the 2101 quarter. I thought that the market was moving to, right? I had a zone from 2097 up to there, right? So here is where the rubber is going to meet the road, right? And we've got a bunch of single prints up above. All right. We've got a couple tops. And I've been saying for a couple weeks now, we need to get above 2113. We get above 2113, and we will be clearing the path for the market to try to test the all-time highs, okay? So when I see these here, I still consider these single print until we really take out these single prints during the regular trading session, right? So, I'm looking for the market. If you take a look at this bottom looks like it's unfinished, and the top also looks like it's unfinished. So I think the market is going to be affected by low volume and the news that's coming out with Janet Yellen today, right? There's a pretty, Gaussian sort of bellwether distribution in your profile, all right? And then yesterday we talk about we made this low at 2084.25. And we never took out the Globex low right here of 2083.5. This is a classic for us. This is a classic market, sort of distribution. When I always say that if you can't take out the Globex low by a significant amount, then I call it 5 ticks, right? So when you go to, if we go to, and I split the profile up from yesterday, okay? Sorry, and this is the nice thing about the profile. We can split it, get different time things, right? So I'm going to split it right there at C, all right? And I'm just going to isolate B from yesterday. I have a little learning session here, all right? And we took out the Globex high, right? We made this high. We took out the Globex high yesterday by like about, so here was the Globex high, right? 92.75, and then we took it out, right? And then I said, okay, I thought that the market would head up to 21 and a quarter. So what's it do? But I also tweeted out that the 2097.5 should slow the market temporarily. Well, I guess I was right about the top because we went back down in bracket C and we retraced all of B and put the low in, but did not take out the Globex low. And what do we do the rest of the day? We have distribution. End of the day, we go back out and we take out the Globex highs and make new highs. So, the problem is that, when you look back at these things in hindsight, they're 2020, right? But at the end of the day, you have to be able to kind of put this in your memory bank and say, look, this is a solid low for us, okay? And you see, we made a low in bracket D, bracket F couldn't get any lower, bracket J couldn't get any lower, bracket K. We kept making higher lows, right? And so the distribution, so these are a bunch of, market noise you had to sit through before it finally made the end of the day move. So, these are little hints that, once you get in the trading funding program, you get in our chat room every day. We'll talk about these things and it'll be an education process. But at the end of the day, you're going to educate, and then the trading and pulling the trigger will be up to you, right? Because we're going to have to see, and you're going to have to see how you manage risk, because that's the key to trading, right? So when we look at, this is a 24-hour chart. We got a value area high of 2097. We got a bull bear zone of 2093, point of control of 2091 and a quarter, okay? And a value area low of 2088.75, okay? All right. In the overnight, all right, the 5-minute pivots are in a sell, okay? 5-minute pivots are in a sell, and that's what we're looking at for right now. We've already talked about, I've already talked about how I think that the market's probably going to be range bound, okay, most of the day, okay, and sorry, okay, and so, when I look at these markets, I like to, take a look at, potential pullbacks, right? So I'm going to split this market right here at bracket J, because bracket J seems right there, okay? All right. So when I look at distribution breakout, it started from bracket J, right? So bracket K to make it, and then boom, we get this move in the last section. So I'm going to draw a line right here at 2088 and a quarter and say, this may be a possible place where we could retrace to. And if we get there, that's going to confirm either a buy or sell setup for me. All right. So those are one of the things that you have to kind of look at, where the breakout took. And this is the nice thing about profile, because it allows you to see the movement and distribution, right? So this is a possible pullback to me, right? Okay. And of course, when you look at where the yesterday's mode is, 91 and a quarter, that's always a target. So you have to kind of gauge your trading based on different little tricks that you can do with the profile, and basically where the market's been. And you can see a lot of volume trading at certain places. Okay. All right. So let's talk about GC. And once again, gold is trading at 1069. The value area high is 1069.20. We got a bull bear zone of 1068.20, 1065.20, and we are trading lower at 1058, off $10 from the off about $11 from the high. Look, if she comes out very hawkish and she's going forward today with a rate cut, I think it's paving the way for GC to move to $1,000. Okay. And I think that's what's going to happen. I'll tell you what, if you talk about opinions when it comes to oil, right? Everybody out there has got a different opinion. So, I listened to a couple of analysts the other day, made some sense that they believe that, oil is going to have to go back to 65 or 70 bucks just to support exploration and to support the oil industry, right? So what's going to happen is there's going to be some major announcement in the next several months of some sort of failure, some tipping point, and the Saudis will keep producing oil, and they're going to drive the price down until they can cause a lot of pain. And when they cause pain, that means people will not do any more oil exploration. So this is not going to something that's going to happen next month, right? Oil's not going to 65 or 70 bucks. Oil is going to stay down, and it's going to stay in trading in the range under 50, and I think it's going to around 25, to tell you the truth. And I think if oil gets into the mid 20s, then you're going to see enough pain. And when I talked about, and you talk about pain, there's going to be failures. There's going to be some massive debt failures, bank repos on loans, and so on. And it's going to be a big consolidation in this industry, right? So, but if I had to bet 3 years out, then I'm betting that 3-year cycle is taking us back up to 65 bucks. So that's that's my opinion. But I really think that right now, market, we keep making lower lows, and I think the market is going to break through that barrier and get down into the mid 20s. So that's what I'm looking at in oil. All right. So let's kind of recap S&Ps. Let's take a look at here's the Russell. All right, so the Russell, I've put in the value areas here. The Russell is actually trading inside of value. It's 5-minute pivot. Now remember, this 5-minute pivot is based on a 24-hour. I'll probably switch my charts back to the regular trading hours once the market opens, and we'll have a revaluation, and I'll get them out to you. But right now, on a 24-hour basis, the 5-minute pivot is in a sell, and the Russell is trading inside value. Let me bring down the NASDAQ. All right. The NASDAQ is trading above value. Okay. And it's also in the 5-minute is in a sell. Okay. And also let me bring down, here is the Dow. The Dow is trading sort of like the S&Ps, trading right at the top of value, and it's also in a sell. Okay. So I think the market is going to have some sort of, they have some balancing and redistribution. I mean, a balancing this morning. We had to move up. So I think that we're going to probably move to the top part of yesterday's range. And so here's the S&P's 5-minute pivot in a sell. We got a bull bear zone of 93. Remember, I told you that breakout came from 88.25, right? So I can see the market moving back in here and consolidating, because that would be where the market broke out from. And then we could get some more consolidation in those areas. All right. Any questions over, Anthony?
All right. Just people asking if we have any plans to add any other platforms. And are indicators on any other platforms such as TradeStation or Investor RT? And I don't know. What do you think?
I can't really get into that right now, but
I think we'll have a solution for all of them.
We're gonna have a solution for everybody. So, so without letting the cat out of the bag, yes, we will have a solution for everybody. And it will be, I think it's going to be something that you're going to like. All right. So once we get that up and around, we'll have a chat room where we'll be sharing screens also on our educational platform. So we'll have a chat room where we can share, and you can view you're going to be able to view the indicators. But we're working on those things. We're working on them. But as soon as I have more concrete things in the planning, well, no, they're in the planning. As soon as they're done, then we will make them available to everybody. So, any other questions, Dan?
No.
All right. So, remember Janet Yellen speaking at noon. I can't imagine she's going to just do anything that's going to shock the world. And then also with the big news is going to be unemployment on Friday, and also Draghi is going to be he's going to have more quantitative easing. So look, people have made that currency bet that the oil, we're going to parity. Well, we get a rate hike here and more and lowering the rates over in Europe with the quantitative easing, and you're going to look at the dollar getting even stronger. So, all right, everybody. Everybody have a good day, and try to. I think you got to stay on the sidelines till after Yellen speaks. All right. Talk to you later, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.